we're going to lead a watershed trip between Banff and Calgary with 10 youth and 5 adult leaders. What I'd like our students to get out of this trip is an appreciation for where our water comes from and why it is important.
The bike ride is from Banff to Calgary. It's a 5-day trip. We're stopping at campsites along the way. I'm hoping to learn how to protect the areas more and hopefully the water be less contaminated.
This year we were studying freshwater and saltwater systems at a school. So I guess I'm kind of educated on this subject. So I think this will be like a good opportunity for me to further educate myself.
I'm super excited because I've been waiting for this my entire summer pretty much. On day one, we all met up in Banff. We made some pretty good progress. We went from Banff to Canmore. And once we got to the campsite, we had our first water workshop.
So tonight we're going to do a variety of activities for the Wave Makers program, and we're going to start by discussing a little bit about how water gets contaminated. Then we're going to move on to kind of protecting the watershed and activities and things that we can do to protect our water. We have 7 different stations here, and each one is a different household water treatment technology. And the students are going to go around with a bit of a detective sheet that will try to identify what type of technology is this, how does it work, and where does it fit into the multi-barrier approach.
We learned about different techniques to clean water and the process of making water potable.
We learned a lot about ways we can purify and treat water, whether that's from rivers or lakes. We went from cloths and sand to ceramic pots, all the way to different kinds of tablets and stuff infused with silver. And I thought it was actually really interesting how far we're coming along to making purifying water so much easier and more accessible to everyone. And on day 2, we went from Canmore to Ghost Lake. The views were still stunning. It was mainly just mountains and clear skies. Day 3, we went from Canmore to Mount Yamnuska, and we stopped over at the wetlands and we met a watershed expert named Julie.
So today I had the wonderful opportunity to take them to some beaver ponds here at Yamnuska. The first part today was we tested for pH, we tested for dissolved oxygen, and we tested for phosphorus, which are all water quality indicators. And then the second part was we actually went hunting for the aquatic invertebrates that live under the water, because many of those are also bioindicator species of water quality. So we had a lovely adventure.
We were testing water quality and like how well suited it is for smaller organisms. We were looking at how much dissolved oxygen there was. It was neat.
In the river, we were learning about like what lives within the river. I thought I was just gonna see fish, but actually I saw like insects and small creatures that I have never actually like got to know about. So I think that was really cool.
Day 4 was from Ghost Station to Springbank. And right off the bat, we could tell it could be a difficult journey. We had a huge hill to conquer, but we did eventually push through. After that, we stopped, for the night, we stopped at Springbank. We went from Springbank to Calgary, so we biked a lot, of course. We took a stop over at Edworthy Park. We painted fish by the storm drains in the communities, which was to show people that anything that goes down the storm drains went directly into the Bow River.
The water that they throw away directly goes into the river, which can harm and pollute the water a lot.
After that, we went from Edworthy Park to the last little bit over back to the Wheelview office, where we had a nice little barbecue with all the parents. We all said our goodbyes and departed.
Some of the changes that I've seen in the youth throughout the trip is a lot more leadership within the group. It's just really interesting to see the kids really taking charge of things, and been really amazing to see their growth throughout the trip.
The most surprising thing that I found out during the trip was how easily our watersheds can be affected, whether that's from day-to-day activities or just simple things like driving your car or washing your car.
One thing I'd do differently is probably take shorter showers for sure, clean up any garbage that I see around storm drains or rivers.
We have rain barrels already, but I want to try and use the water in them for more things.
I can tell my friends that the rainwater goes directly into our river systems, and that's something that they might not be aware about.
So when we planned the trip, we were hoping that the youth would go through water workshops and have much more awareness of the issues in their watershed and really how they could protect their watershed. And it was really nice to see throughout the trip a real appreciation of water developing.